Meanwhile, in Russia, things are burning and blazing exactly on our military schedule. In Ufa, the local oil refinery caught fire. It was hit by at least 2 drones. Part of Cheboksary is without power. An electrical substation burned down there. Muscovites are posting numerous videos online. Russian social media channels are reporting explosions in Novomoskovsk in the Tula region and in Dzerzhinsk in the Nizhny Novgorod region. The Moscow region is also complaining about another Ukrainian drone raid. All airports there were closed, and ground traffic was blocked at the exit from Yaroslavl. And where Ukrainian drones haven't visited yet, Putin sometimes dares to appear, because he prefers to avoid the regions where air attacks have been recorded. The pre-election tour of the Kremlin dictator-agitator is accompanied by incredible special effects. Gas prices there drop instantly, and overnight, where there used to be a long-standing swamp, pristine lawns spring up.
And all these traditional Russian Potemkin villages, they are against the backdrop of an election campaign designed to remind the local voter of the aggressor country that united Russia has not died and that it even has such a supreme agitator. Will these mock tours help the pro-Putin force before the elections? Will the ratings of this party, and indeed of Putin himself, soon disappear like that cheap gasoline? Evgenia Tereshchenko reports on this.
Russians have a new omen if gasoline suddenly appears at a gas station.
And there's a large fuel truck right there, and the prices are actually quite wonderful for us.
It's a sign the city is preparing to host a very special guest.
The asphalt was blackened, the gasoline prices were lowered. Who has come to visit us?
There is no intrigue. The Russian dictator is on a grand tour. Over the last few weeks, Putin has visited 7 regions outside of Moscow and St. Petersburg after a 7-month pause.
Putin is trying to create an illusion of a well-managed country and restore, at least somewhere in the minds of Russians, the social contract that existed there before. Our Ukrainian strikes have made it so that this social contract is effectively, one might say, nullified.
Before the leader's arrival, Russian cities go into emergency upgrade mode. In Ulan-Ude, buses were plastered with Putin's quotes. In Novosibirsk, they decided not to get creative.
In the center, there's just some wild sprucing up going on. We start repairing the whole city a week in advance.
The leader is going to the people, but only the chosen ones can see him. Others are forbidden from approaching windows and using optical devices, and even from riding electric scooters for the sake of security. So Putin is met by supposedly random, pre-prepared extras.
People have been standing and waiting since 12 o'clock. Vladimir Vladimirovich, we welcome you.
Just half a day. Drivers in Sochi have been waiting in lines at gas stations for just as long.
Well, in short, basically it's been about 12 hours already at the gas station.
There will be no magic trick with the sudden appearance of fuel at the resort. Putin won't risk showing up there. The chief agitator of United Russia only travels to cities where Ukrainian drones haven't reached yet.
It is very far from the front line. He didn't go to Belgorod, Bryansk, Kursk, not even to Rostov, and he didn't even go to Krasnodar. He went very, very far away and demonstrated his activity there.
For example, to Ulan-Ude. There, more than 5,500 kilometers from the border with Ukraine, Putin was hugging a Buryat boy.
Thank you for responding to the invitation. I didn't even expect you to arrive so quickly.
Thank you for inviting me.
And he didn't come for nothing. The master of Russia was shown a toilet that will be built in the city someday.
Today there are wooden houses here, even 8 utility rooms there, but the toilet is outside.
The chance to show itself also fell to Krasnoyarsk. There, the Russian dictator for some reason decided that he was Ronaldo. And he fulfilled the Putin and children agenda.
Hello, Vladimir Vladimirovich.
In Siberia, the Russian leader allegedly discussed AI, or more likely, the syndrome plaguing the Kremlin elders.
Boom! Their gray matter is gradually shrinking. It's like shagreen leather.
On Sakhalin, Putin put on a dress-up show. On the Kuril Islands, he was eating caviar with spoons and looking at halibut.
Guaranteed fishing, you will catch both halibut and larger fish.
Although in reality, the dictator-agitator didn't go to fish, but to save his ratings. In the fall, Russians will be electing the State Duma. United Russia is going into the elections as Putin's party, but its popularity is sagging.
According to the calculations that even official media are reporting, it was 50% at first, and now it's 45%. According to unofficial ones, it's around 30%, and that's in the best-case scenario.
And Putin's own rating, according to official Russian Federation studies, is over 65%. And he, like a locomotive, is supposedly supposed to pull united Russia along.
Putin's real rating is less than 40%. This was shown, for example, by a VT Sayom study which asked an open-ended question about trust. And at that time, 29.5% named Putin.
Of course, according to Russian tradition, it's not how they vote that matters, but how they count.
I think it will be even higher, somewhere around 55 most likely.
And where such a result comes from should be explained by Putin's tour, as if to say they trust him, that's why they voted for him. Although Putin himself has another goal, to calm the dissatisfaction brewing in Russia and to appease the public's demand for an end to the war.
Putin is trying to bring back that same goida, into the minds of Russians, to raise the temperature precisely with military rhetoric and to bring back that negative, in the bad sense of the word, unity of these Russian swamps, because it is falling apart.
Putin does not forget about the collateral benefits either. For the first time during his rule, he visited the Kuril Islands, and not just for the sake of the electorate. It is also a geopolitical game. With this, the master of the Kremlin irritated Japan, tried to pressure the USA, and at the same time made a bow to China.
To demonstrate to China, which also has its own strained relations with Japan, that look, I am completely with you. In case of anything, we will fight together against Japanese and other militarism.
However, the circus with horses that both the Russian dictator himself and the officials meeting him are putting on during this trip could end up being a shot in the foot for Putin.
Everything is being done in standard, ridiculous Soviet traditions, so I believe it might actually play an even worse role specifically regarding his personal approval rating.
Because the rift between the population and the authorities is deepening.
It is just another new low of hypocrisy and sycophancy coming from these Russian officials, which is honestly quite disappointing to see.
Especially when they dismantle the decorations created for the Tsar's arrival. They removed the new asphalt and left us with the old one. Or when they kicked the only party that called for an end to the war out of the election race. Yevgenia Tereshchenko, We Are Ukraine, Marathon United News.
Russia is building new bases for launching long-range jet drones that will be able to attack NATO countries. The Muscovites have converted some of the drone control centers from military bases and civilian airports. Other launch sites have been set up in rural areas.
Actually, right now, along the border of the Russians with Ukraine and Belarus, at least 60 new launch points for such drones are being recorded. This is data from the Telegraph. Which NATO countries could become an easy target for Moscow, and how is the alliance actually reacting to this? Victoria Yarishko will tell us about this.
Up to 1,000 drones per day from a single base. The Russians could reach such scales after deploying a new network of secret sites for launching strike drones. An investigation by the Telegraph has uncovered 10 such facilities near the borders with Ukraine and Belarus. The Federation has deployed about 60 new launch rails at these bases. A third of them have been extended, likely for modern jet-powered drones capable of covering nearly 1,000 kilometers.
They are preparing launch sites, launch systems right away, meaning these are launch catapults that are being built there as stationary structures. They are betting exclusively, on those that are launched either like the Shahed at a 45-degree angle from a special launch platform, or those that are launched using a catapult.
The Muscovites are already using 7 out of 10 bases for strikes against Ukraine. More launch rails means the ability to launch a significantly larger number of drones simultaneously. One of the bases can store over 1,000 drones.
Considering the stockpiles that can be stored there, the number of launchers from each of these bases individually, up to 1,000 UAVs, can be launched per day from a single base. There are 10 such bases. So we understand what a significant scaling of capabilities this is, specifically regarding the launch.
If we talk generally about increasing the number of launches, unfortunately, this increases the so-called attack density. That is, it does not mean that at one moment there will be more drones themselves that Russia can produce or use during a single attack. But at the same time, the intensity of the attack will increase significantly.
Russia is building new launch sites as it is increasingly using jet-powered drones and drone missiles, including new modifications of the Geran and Banderol. According to Ukrainian intelligence, the Federation currently produces up to 3,000 Geran 4 and 5 units per month.
This drone, in any case, is cheaper than a missile. In terms of effectiveness, it might be less effective because the warhead is still smaller, but at the same time, for the cost and its functionality, it performs quite well.
The increase in Russian jet-powered drones is a new challenge for Ukrainian air defense, as such vehicles are significantly faster, harder to intercept, and there is less time to detect them. Therefore, Ukraine must look for new ways to counter such drones.
So this primarily means interceptor drones, specifically their modernization, well, improving their flight characteristics, their speed. Right now, Ukrainian manufacturers are trying to work on exactly this. Army aviation can also effectively counter these systems. The only question is the quantity of air-to-air missiles to defeat them. But right now, well, the main means are anti-aircraft systems that can shoot down cruise missiles.
A new network of Russian bases also threatens NATO countries. Furthermore, when we consider the long-term implications, it is concerning, since modern Russian drones are now capable of reaching the city of Warsaw.
The creation of such facilities can objectively contribute to the enemy, the Russian Federation, being able to launch retaliatory strikes on targets within NATO countries, such as Poland and Romania.
Such an important element of pressure on the Baltic states, European countries. Simply the Baltic states, Poland, of course, is control over full access to the Baltic Sea and a land corridor to the temporarily occupied Königsberg.
There are currently no signs that Russia is planning an attack on Poland, experts note. However, new bases still create additional risks for Europe.
There is currently no talk of the Russians using these drone ports to directly attack the eastern borders of NATO, that is Poland, the Baltics, the Baltic states, Romania. That is not the case, but it is a potential threat for years to come.
NATO has developed 3 courses of action in the event of a Russian attack on the Baltic states. As reported by the publication Bild, the alliance initially plans to suppress missile and drone attacks from the aggressor country.
Today, 103 Ukrainian soldiers returned home from Russian captivity. These are soldiers of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the State Border Guard Service, and the National Guard.
Yes, and all of them defended Ukraine. In Mariupol and on the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, Kherson, Dnipro, and Sumy fronts. Most of them have wounds and serious illnesses. The youngest liberated soldier is 26, the oldest is 59.
From the place where our defenders, who were awaited at home not only by their families but by all of us, stepped onto their native land again today after Russian captivity, this is Anastasia Tereshchuk.
Glory to the heroes. Very, very much.
To the heroes.
The first calls to loved ones, tears in their eyes, and Ukrainian flags that they haven't seen for years. Very soon they will embrace their loved ones. Another 103 of our soldiers are home. Welcome to Ukraine. This flag is for you. May it protect you.
Everything is fine. I am already in Ukraine.
Every day they dreamed of saying these words while being there in enemy captivity. Mrs. Svetlana, your brother has been returned from captivity. He wants to talk to you.
Thank you.
Hello, hi, Svidik.
Hi, Slavik. Oh Lord, thy will be done. Thank God. How are you doing there?
Everything is fine. I am already in Ukraine.
The man was taken prisoner in 2024 in the Pokrovsk direction. During a combat mission, all his brothers in arms were killed. He was the only one who survived.
I was saved. I jumped into a basement and I was pinned down by a wall. I was the only one left alive. All 9 of my brothers in arms were killed. They were shot, young guys.
After 2 years of captivity, today with tears in his eyes, he rejoices that he has finally returned to his native land.
May God protect you and grant you a peaceful sky.
By tradition, juicy Ukrainian apples were prepared as a treat for the liberated defenders at the meeting place. Is the apple tasty?
Very.
Oleg is also enjoying the fresh fruit with pleasure. The Russians held him captive for almost 2.5 years. He dreamed about this day, the Ukrainian flag on his shoulders, a call to his loved ones, and his native land the entire time. And he knew one day it would definitely happen.
Today is my 30th month and first day. A long time I was in captivity, for quite a long time. How did I, hold up mentally? I just didn't think about the exchange. I just lived one day at a time, that's all. Because if you think about something specific, it takes a very long time to come. A very long time. But I am very grateful to those people who helped, me to stand here now, to bite into this delicious apple, to talk to you.
Alexander spent 2 years in a penal colony near the Russian city of Rostov. He is exhausted but happy to finally be home.
There are no words. I don't have any relatives here, but I have friends, brothers in arms. I have my own unit. We are waiting to meet with them. I'm in shock. These women, these flags of ours, they just gave me cigarettes. Here they are, all Ukrainian cigarettes. This is what I was waiting for. It's very nice. Apples, water.
Roman also just spoke with his family. He has never seen his son before. He was taken prisoner when his wife was pregnant. So this video call is special for him. His wife supports her husband and jokes.
He is as stubborn as you.
Stubborn, huh? Oh my God.
He might look like his mom, but he's as stubborn as his dad.
And very soon they will meet in person. Next, the defenders will undergo treatment and rehabilitation. And the coordination headquarters is already working on the return of other defenders whom the Russians are holding captive.
There is the year 22, there is the year 23, there is the year 24. There are those who are seriously ill, wounded. We are expecting the next case of return. Next time we are expecting Mariupol, we are expecting Azov.
On the way from the border to the hospital, the liberated defenders are greeted by their fellow countrymen. In the villages that the buses pass through, there has long been a special ritual. At the first call, people drop all their household chores, take flags, posters, flowers, and go out to the road to meet our heroes.
This grapevine works well, really well. We hadn't even thought or guessed yet, and they had already called. It works very, very well.
Anastasia Tereshchuk, Konstantin Tsarinok, We Are Ukraine, Marathon United News.